We talk a lot about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin on Cheddar, and we've seen it gain a lot of momentum in 2024. Cheddar correspondent Remy Blaire joins me now in Cheddar Studios to talk all about it. Remy, it's great to have you on the show today. And we've seen these Bitcoin prices actually up to start this week as well, with the first quarter seeing Bitcoin at new records, followed by a bit of a cool down in prices. Do you think that momentum can continue from the first quarter?
Good afternoon, Kristen. It's great to see you from the Cheddar Studios in downtown Manhattan. So as you mentioned, as we kick off the new trading week, Bitcoin is trading back above the $70,000 level, touching a session high of $72,695. Now, over the weekend, Bitcoin prices recovered that $70,000 level for the first time since April 1st. And keep in mind that last week, the cryptocurrency held below the $70,000 level after kicking off Q2 above the 71,000 level. Now, if we look at the chart, Bitcoin hit a new record high this year, touching an all-time high above $73,700 in mid-March. The first quarter of 2024 did get off to a positive start. Keep in mind that on January 10th, the SEC approved the first U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs. And the launch of the spot Bitcoin funds ushered in the era of retail investors gaining exposure to Bitcoin without owning the underlying asset directly. And this was a big step, as investors can now gain exposure to Bitcoin with funds traded on a regulated stock exchange. It is now easier for market participants as well as institutions to access the asset class and not buy Bitcoin directly. Investing in an ETF means exposure without the custody or price risks that are traditionally associated with crypto. At the end of the first quarter, the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs that launched this year saw about $12.1 billion in total inflows. And those inflows turned out to be positive for Bitcoin prices in Q1, with prices seeing nearly a 70% gain on a year-to-date basis by the end of March. And so far this year, there has been plenty of activity in terms of regulation, adoption, trading, as well as technical levels and fundamentals coming into play. Now, the upcoming halving event and innovations in Bitcoin networks are also getting plenty of attention and could impact price dynamics.
Remy, such great info there. We're lucky that we have you as a crypto expert here. And speaking of that, I know the Bitcoin halving that's going to take place later this month. What do we see usually happen during a halving event, and how could that impact prices?
Well, Kristen, just as many of us are anticipating the solar eclipse today, the Bitcoin halving is an event that many are also anticipating and awaiting. Now, it is expected to take place during the third week of April, on or around April 20th. The halving event is one that happens about every 4 years or every 210,000 blocks. The supply of Bitcoin is limited to only 21 million tokens, and that supply will get tighter. Bitcoin halvings are scheduled to take place until the entire supply is mined, with 29 more halvings that will take until approximately the year 2140 to complete. So what exactly happens during the halving? Well, the event halves the total mining reward to Bitcoin miners. So when a halving event takes place, the Bitcoin block reward decreases by half. It's a change in the reward structure for miners, so they will receive half as many Bitcoins for mining blocks on the blockchain. The upcoming halving will lower the block reward from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin per block. Every halving reduces the amount of new Bitcoin that enters circulation, and this is viewed as a good thing by existing crypto holders. Halvings help reduce the Bitcoin inflation rate and potential selling pressure from miners. Now, historically, Bitcoin prices soar after each halving. Data shows that there has been plenty of fluctuation in prices between halvings, but Bitcoin prices have hit the highest levels in the 6 to 12 months after a halving event, sometimes extending 18 months after a halving event. The last time a Bitcoin halving event took place was back in 2020. And to give you a better idea of some of the price gains after the previous halving events, in 2012 to 2013, Bitcoin prices rallied from $12.40 to $1,170, gaining over 9,000%. And when the 2016 to 2017 Bitcoin halving event took place, the price soared from $680 to $19,400, gaining nearly 3,000%. And in the last Bitcoin halving event, Bitcoin's prices rose from 8,590 to 66,708, and that was a gain of nearly 700%. And that is indeed off the chart performance. While past performance is not indicative of future results, halving events have been a catalyst for rallies in Bitcoin prices. We also need to keep in mind that Bitcoin has been around for less than 2 decades. So while crypto bulls may be eyeing outside gains for the market this year, with optimism over more favorable industry policy, it is a presidential election year, so we have to keep that in mind, and we'll have to wait and see how the upcoming halving affects miners.
Remy, such great info for us on such a hot space right now. That's Cheddar Correspondent Remy Blaire. We appreciate it. She's live for us in studio.